People. Que pasa, sakpa, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News. Now, people, I don't know if you realize where this case is going, or you see the disturbing trend that is unfolding right before our eyes as it pertains to Donnalee Donaldson, missing lady, Popo, Noel Maitland, and then the constable, girlfriend, baby mother. We are speaking about Cathy Ann Smith. Now, people, we've heard Assistant Commissioner of Popo, Fitzbailey, did an interview, very disturbing interview, and he said that these persons are no persons of interest, and even worse, they are no suspect at this time. He has zero information that there's any sorts of confrontation with any of these three people, whichever you want to put it, between Cathy Ann and also Donnalee, between Donnalee and Mr. Noel. There are no suspects, no person of interest, as far as the information that he has thus far, 10 to 12 days in the investigation, or since the lady has been missing. So, people, it seems as if the theory that they are going to go with is that Donnalee getting her feelings, Donnalee pretty much go down to Kingston Harbour and jump over, or Donnalee went to Phil's Hardware, buy some short rope, drive go to the country in a minibus, pan a bus, use that short rope and jump off a tall breadfruit tree. Or Donnalee pretty much get crazy because she's upset in her feelings and start walk and kick stone all the way from Chelsea all the way to some sort of place in Westmoreland. She get mad, she get sick, her head no good. So, people, based on what the Assistant Commissioner of Popo said, and now I am going to let you hear a couple of voice notes of some interviews that was done by both the lawyer for Cathy Ann Smith and also Mr. Noel Maitland. So, people, based on what the lawyer for Cathy Ann Smith said, his name is Oswes Senior Smith. He is pretty much saying that, listen, at first, the High Command, R.E. Fitzbailey, said that my client was not willing to give any sorts of sworn statement in front of the Popo without the presence of her lawyer, which is him. However, the Popo said then that she was a person of interest. However, the High Command has informed me that she is not a person of interest and she is definitely not a suspect. However, my client will be questioned by Indicom on August 3rd. She will not be questioned by the Popo who has her as any sorts of suspect. However, my client also has nothing to hide. My client is the victim in all of this. So, people, take a listen, take a look at what the lawyer, Mr. Oswes Senior Smith, has to say as it pertains to Cathy Ann.
Although my client is a police officer and has relatives who are police officers, the threats are being made nonetheless. Threats as far as her sibling overseas. So she has every reason to be fearful in circumstances where she is at her wit's end as to why is it that she's being targeted. How is she embroiled in anything at all and in whatever is being said out there in social media? Because again, she, based on my instructions, it's as if the authorities or whoever, they're barking up the wrong tree.
Now, people, do you believe this? 10 to 11 to 12 days later, this lady is not a person of interest. This lady is not a suspect. However, this lady is now playing the victim role. She's the one that is in fear of her life. She's the one is questioning, how is it that I am so hated? How do I get in this mix-up? This is a whole bunch of misunderstanding, mix-up and passa. The authorities are basically barking up the wrong tree. Me nah have nothing to do with nothing. I am an innocent bystander. I just get caught up in a love triangle. However, it was civil. However, there was no sorts of conflict. There was no sorts of ruption. There was no sorts of war, no sorts of fight. No sorts of gun no draw. No sort of threaten to take with anybody's life. We just dealt with it like decent citizens of Jamaica. So people, that's what the lawyer Mr. Aswes Smith had to say as it pertains to CTIM. Now people, this is what the lawyer for Mr. Noel Maitland has to say. His name is Christopher Townsend.
Yes, I can confirm that we do represent Constable Maitland, who was today informed by Police High Command that he was indeed not a suspect. However, he will be questioned on the 3rd of August by Indicom, and of course, we are cooperating fully with the police. My client has absolutely nothing to hide.
You know that when we talk about top lawyers, high profile case, you have the Bird Samuels, you have the Peter Champagne, you have the Christopher Townsend, you have the Nita Robertson, and for a little less part, the Finson. However, we see Mr. Maitland, he is no broke pocket, regular constable. He is doing the do, he is involved with production, whether it is crime production or music production, that is yet to be determined by the court. The court of public opinion knows different. So now people, when we listen to the ACP Assistant Commissioner of Popo, there's a saying that goes something like this. When somebody tells you who they are or what they represent, you should believe them. You should see the signs and the red flags and know that, listen, this lady, Donnalee Donaldson, her family, more than likely, justice is going to be a fleeting illusion that is pursued, however, never to be attained. And people, I am not saying to give up hope and just drop your hand and don't try to fight what is going on. However, people, I am just saying, hope for the best, expect the worst. Now, people, let's talk about these lawyers. As it pertains to Christopher Townsend, we know that these lawyers come with a very high retainer fee. That means that you talk about millions of dollars to even take up your case. So therefore, we see Mr. Noel, him have some sorts of money for burn. And obviously, he is in a deep SHIT load of trouble based upon the fact that he was the last person in which Donnalee was seen around. He picked her up from her house. Had this been any other country other than Jamaica, with them kind of, what we call it, full justice system, these persons would have been locked up. These persons would have been removed from duty. However, we say the JCF does not care about its reputation. The JCF, it defends its own, even when its own is a notorious MVRD3RER suspect. Point blank and period. So people will understand, say, listen, what this lawyer is saying, his client is willing to cooperate. Nothing wrong with that. However, his client has nothing to do with anything. His client is innocent, not guilty as the court of public opinion would like other persons to believe. As it pertains to CTIM, pretty much his lawyer is saying the same thing. However, his lawyer is acting as if she is now the victim. So therefore, the young lady, Donnalee Donaldson, that was missing, her family, the mother, were ball every day upon social media in the news. They are not the victims. Our sympathy should go towards Mrs. Cathy Ann, because she is a real victim in all of this. She have nothing to do with nothing. She is startled. She is confused. How did I get in this mix-up? What did I do? I am just a saint. I am just an innocent young lady. Me never make no threat. Me never have any conversation with this lady. Me never try beat up this lady. Me never show up at the yard anytime. All of that is a figment of the imagination of the court of public opinion, which means me and you. We should not believe what our common sense tells us or what we've heard in the past. It is all delusion. So now this lawyer is saying that the family members of Cathy Ann, including those living overseas, they are in fear of their life because they are getting DEATH threats. People, this can only happen in Jamaica. Jamaica is the only place upon Master God Earth, upon planet Earth, in which this can happen, in which a person loses her life or is missing and feared, DEAD, when all indications, all signs is leading to a set of people. May I talk about Noel, may I talk about Cathy Ann, may I talk about that other unidentified pawpaw. When man can come and pick up couch, when it takes the pawpaw 10 days or so after the lady was missing to actually show up and pop up, when the pawpaw can actually tell the mother of the victim that them a go upon some sorts of mission, figure do all sorts of investigation at the house. However, the car flip over and everybody get hurt. Everybody gone at the hospital. However, there is no sorts of evidence, no sorts of sign, no sorts of videotape of it. And then we have our assistant commissioner of pawpaw, who is supposed to be the head, come out and give a new statement or make a statement in the news and say, these people are no suspect, no person of interest, none at all. We are back up the wrong tree. People, Jamaica pretty much gone to the dogs. Jamaica has no sorts of coming back. It is obvious these people are telling us that, listen, we have no respect for nobody that is poor. We have no respect for the rights of our citizens or residents in Jamaica. If you are not the Isas, if you are not the Maitland, if you are not the Popo, if you are not the Prime Minister, if you are not an MP, a politician, somebody with money or somebody with face card, somebody of influence in Jamaica, you ain't SHIT, and you can die like a dog in the street and nobody now gonna say nothing, or nobody is going to defend you. Point blank and period. People, I have nothing else to say. Leave it right there, sir.